Good afternoon. Can you get me? Hello, are you able to get me? Okay, thank you. I think I guess we can start now. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to look at cyber threats, intelligence, and response. Okay, that is the focus of this study to look at the cyber threats, intelligence, as well as response. And in this module, cover the following. We'll have some introduction. Then we'll be able to look at the fundamentals of cyber threat uh, and intelligence. Okay. Then we'll have to look at we'll explore, okay, exploring and collecting of hacker community data, how we can actually collect the information from the hackers and so forth as part of the analysis to to identify potential threat. Okay, as part of the analysis to identify potential threats from the hackers. Then we'll also explore what is known as A to Z Secure Hacker Asset Portal. And this portal basically focuses on identifying the threats, the actors, as well as the target. Okay. Then, in addition to that, to look at the cyber threat intelligence visualization via what we call a Tableau, which you'll be required to do some form of analysis thereafter. Okay. So before anything, what is your understanding of cyber threat, intelligence, and response? What is your understanding? Okay. So, what is your understanding? What do you know about cyber threats, intelligence, and response? What comes into your mind when you hear that someone say cyber threat, intelligence, and response? What comes into your mind? What comes into your mind? So what comes into your mind, Mr. George? Okay, okay, fine. Mr. Joshua, go ahead. Mr. Joshua, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Okay, that's good. Madam Mary, what's your take? Mr. Lawrence? Okay. Okay, who else wanted to say something? Okay. All right. Cyber threat, intelligence, and response. These are basically critical component of modern cybersecurity strategies. So we're basically talking about the cyber security strategies. Uh, um, very, very important. Okay, this is very important because you are saying this is a critical component of modern cyber security strategies. Okay, because you have to identify the threats, okay, okay, and then come up with mechanism to respond to these threats. Okay, so this is basically to do with you as the expert in this field trying to look at all the possible ways in which attackers can use, to try and gain illegal access into uh, protected resources. So we are saying cyber threat refers to malicious activities aimed at disrupting, accessing, or damaging information systems. Okay. It refers to malicious activities that are aimed at disrupting, accessing, or damaging information. Okay. So this could be certain activities that just want to focus on uh, basically, disrupting the normal operation of a particular computer system, or the normal flow of how certain information is accessed, or sometimes these threats are just targeted at damaging the information system. Okay, so that is a cyber threat. It basically refers to malicious activities that are aimed at disrupting, okay, that are aimed at disrupting, accessing, or damaging information system. Okay. Now, it's important to know that these threats can come in various forms. Okay, these may include malware, phishing, phishing attacks, ransomware, and distributed denial of service attack. So these are possible threats. So when you talk about these malicious activities, these can be these can come through in different forms, such as those provided. That is why understanding the nature of this threat is essential for developing effective defensive mechanism. Okay, so you need really to understand these threats. Okay, you really need to understand these cyber threats in order for you to um, to develop the effective defense mechanism to protect the organization data. Okay, so that is cyber threats. Okay, to the malicious refers to the malicious activities that are aimed at disrupting, accessing, or damaging information system. So, um, cyber threat intelligence involves gathering and analyzing information about potential and current cyber threats to identify patterns, motivations, as well as tactics used by threat actors. Okay? Threat intelligence. This one you are trying now to gather, okay? You are trying to gather and then analyze information about the potential and current cyber threats so that you are able to identify those patterns that are used by attackers to launch an attack. Then you'd be interested to know also the motivation, what motivate these hackers, or um, what motivate these hackers or uh, attackers to launch these threats to organization data. Okay, so this is used by then you will also be required to talk about the tactics or techniques that these hackers make use of. Okay, so that's the cyber threat intelligence. Okay, involves you are basically talking about the gathering and analyzing of information about potential threats. You gather this information, then you analyze. Now, as you analyze your data, you are analyzing it in terms of three main aspects. You analyze it in terms of the pattern. Okay, what's the pattern? The motivation. Okay, from the motivation again, you analyze it in form of the tactics used by these threats. So now, this intelligence help organization anticipate and respond proactively to cyber threats. Okay, so the aspect of intelligence helps organization to respond practically with practical measures, okay, to cyber threats, okay, or rather than reacting after an attack has occurred. So you don't need to react, but you have to prevent this from really happening. Okay, so cyber intelligence include both technical, okay, intelligence, such as indicators of compromised and strategic intelligence, okay, such as threat actors, profiles, and the motivation. Okay, so that is the cyber threats there. So again, in the aspect of response to cyber threat, organization develop and implement cyber security measures to protect their system and data. So these are developed, okay, to basically respond to threats, okay, that that may arise, okay. So in when these threats have occurred, w- when these threats have occurred, okay, when when these threats, okay, in response to the cyber threat, okay, organization develop, okay, organization develop and implement cybersecurity measures to protect their systems and the data. As you might be aware, the as you might be aware, the organization, the information that the organization keep is the most valuable asset. It's the most valuable asset that they need to have. As a result, this asset must be protected. Okay, so this asset must be protected at all cost. Okay, it must be protected at all cost. Okay, that is why um, these measures to protect the to respond to threat must be put in place to ensure that the organization information is safe. So the measures can include implementing firewalls, antivirus software, and intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system. Okay. Additionally, organization established incident responses plans to quickly and effectively respond to cyber attacks when they occur. Okay, so this platform outlined the steps to be broken to contain and mitigate the effect of an attack. Okay, as well as the procedures for recovering from the attack. Okay, so cyber threat intelligence and response are basically interconnected aspects of cybersecurity in that they require um, they require ongoing monitoring, analysis, and brand. Okay, so they require all that. Now, it's important to understand that by understanding the involvement um, of nature of cyber threat gathering, okay, gathering intelligence to inform proactive defense and implement robust, robust process, okay, to responses to these measures. So all what is to be done is now that the organization can now enhance their cybersecurity postures and also protect against their wide range of cyber threat. Okay, there are wide range of cyber threat. In short, what you are saying is that the cyber threat intelligence and responses are interconnected. Okay, they are connected aspect of basically cyber security. Okay. So again, understanding involves the nature of every threat and gathering intelligence. Okay, uh, gathering intelligence to inform the proactive defense and implement robust response measures. So to achieve this, organization can enhance their vocabulary posture and protect against a wide range of cyber threat. So, cyber threat intelligence is typically categorized into strategic, operation, and tactical intelligence. Okay, so there are three categorization of cyber, okay, of um, of cyber threats. Okay, so we have the aspect of strategic, then there's operational and the tactical intelligence. So the strategic intelligence focuses on more on the long-term goal, okay, long-term goals as well as capability of threat actors by helping organizations understand the broader threat landscape. Okay. So operational intelligence provide, okay, more immediate information about the threats and the vulnerabilities. So enabling organizations to take action to protect their systems and the data. Okay, so tactical aspect, tactical intelligence is the most granular level of modular intelligence, similar, okay? So providing real-time information about specific threats, such as the indicators of compromise. Okay, so overall, understanding cyber threats, intelligence, uh, and the okay, so saying understanding cyber threat intelligence is essential for organization to stay ahead of cyber threats and protect their digital asset. Okay, so once you identify the problem or early enough, so what will happen is that uh, it will be essential for you and the organization to stay ahead of cyber threat intelligence. Okay. Okay, so these are just the preambles. Okay, get started from this unit. Okay, so look at the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Okay, okay. Okay, so look at the fundamentals. Look at the fundamentals. So CTI process, that's the CTI process. We have in phase one, we're talking about intel such as planning or strategies. Okay. Okay, so you look at uh, you look at from the planning. From the planning, we have data collection and aggregation. Okay, that's the second phase. Then from the data collection and aggregation, we have the threat analysis. That's when now the threats are analyzed. Okay. Or we have intel usage and dissemination. Okay. Usage and denomination. Okay, so that's the CITP process. Okay. So under planning, uh, under planning, we are saying there's an aspect of description where you are supposed to identify the intelligence need of the organization, identify critical asset and their vulnerability. Okay, that's at the planning stage. Okay, you need to basically um, identify the intelligence need of the organization, then you identify the critical assets and their vulnerability. What are the weaknesses or vulnerability in those systems? Then the approaches that you could use includes threat trending. Okay, we could use also what is known as vulnerability assessment. Okay, vulnerability assessment. You could also use asset discovery or diamond modeling. So these are some of the techniques associated with the planning phase of the threat intelligence. Yeah. Then when it comes to data collection techniques and aggregation, at the description stage, you have to identify and collect relevant data for threat analytics. Okay, so you have to identify and collect relevant data for threat analytics. So you have um, to actually get this data after you've collected them, then you should be able to analyze them for any possibility of a threat. Then data sources, you can get this from the internal network data, external thread feed. Okay, then machine learning aspect. Okay, that's threat analytics. You have to analyze collected data to develop relevant, timely, and intelligent um, actionable intelligence. Okay, then you go to description. Okay, small malware. Okay, analysis, event correlation. Okay, visualization. Okay, then we move to Intel usage and dissemination. Usage and dissemination. So I'm saying this stage is aimed to mitigate the threats and disseminate once. Okay. Okay. So this one is used to mitigate threats and disseminate intelligence. Mitigate threats and disseminate intelligence. Okay, then we have the manual and the automatic intelligence. Okay, so the manual and automatic threat response intelligence. Okay, um, you talk of communication and other standards. So in short, you are saying these are the uh, four stages of the CTI process. So these are the what? The four stages of that. Allow me to pick up this call. Hello. Hey, how are you? I'm okay, thank you. Sure, man. No, it's fine. Uh, I haven't. I was in class that probably. Uh, oh, okay, okay, that's fine. All right, thank you, then. Sure. Thank you, thank you, my friend. Okay, so that is those are the four. Those are the four stages. Those are the four stages. Um, yeah, so those are the four stages of CTI. Okay, move further. Then we have popular CTI analytics, okay, or analysis. Um, we have quite a number of analytical approaches that you can use, okay, to analyze the threats, the possible threats. Okay, there are quite a number. Okay, so we have what we call this. The first approach is basically to do with summary statistics. Okay, summary statistics. This one focuses more on high level summary of the collected data. Okay, so it focuses more on the data that has been sent or that has been collected. Then a good example is we look at the number of blocked IPs, locations of attacks, count overs, and so on. Okay, and the values that we have Okay, we have good overviews for all executives. Of course, executives are people in the organizations who are always busy, so they don't have time to look at the nitty gritties or these little details and so forth. So their focus more is on summary statistics. Okay, so we can say almost all the major companies use this aspect to analyze the threat. Then we have also what we call the event correlation as an analytical approach. This one analyzes the relationship between events. Okay, so it looks at the events that takes place and is able to detect whether some of those events are possible threats or not. Okay, now these are compared to other events that were associated with a certain threat, and then you'll be able to make a decision that you'll be able to make a decision that uh, a threat actually has occurred or not. Example could find is trying to identify a machine sending malicious traffic by checking the firewall log. Okay, so you look at the firewall log and then try to focus your attention more on whether or not the uh, the person or the machine is trying to gain illegal access into your network. Okay, it integrates on the value, it integrates multiple sources of data together because you are trying to find the relationship. Okay, and mostly you look at this is conducted on the internal network, and most companies prefers to use this technique, almost all. Then you have what is known as the reputation services. Reputation services. This one uh, identifies the quality of an IP. Okay, when the machines communicate over the network through the IP addresses and so forth. So you could have some bogus IP addresses that have just been formulated, but now the reputation services this looks at the IP address in form of the trusted ones. So if it's a particular communication doesn't seem to come from a trusted source, it can be blocked. Okay, this is an example. IPX has a poor reputation. So if an IP has a poor reputation, then this cannot be considered. Okay, then value. Okay, we are saying identify which IP addresses to block. Okay, that is what it is concerned with. You identify as long as it's not coming from a reputable source, then you can block that. We have what is known as Akamai and NS Focus. Then we have FireEye as well as Alien Bot. So these are some of the tools that can be used to actually check, okay, reputation services in terms of the IP address. Then we have also another approach which is malware analysis. Okay. Um, this malware analysis attempts to analyze malicious files on a network. Okay. It attempts to analyze the malicious files on a network. Most you can basically communicate over the network using, you can exchange files with other machines on the network, but certain files can contain some hidden threats. As a result, the malware analysis helps to analyze some of these files that are actually transmitted over the network. So examples, what we call decompiling ransomware. Okay. So these are in order for you to understand whether someone is just trying to get a ransom once they hold certain files that are being exchanged. So the most technical cyber defenses, these are some of the techniques that are in use. Then also we have what we call the fire high alien vote. This is part of this arrangement. Okay, then we have what we call anomaly detection. Okay, we have anomaly detection. Okay, anomaly, from the word anomaly. Okay, this is from the word anomaly. Um, it is there to detect the abnormal behavior, or and this in abnormal behavior such as unusual logins. Okay, so once you probably log in using a certain behavior, let's say maybe you start with your username and then you provide the password. But in this case, this time around, someone started logging in by just providing password and then the username and so forth. So this can be flagged as a potential threat. And you could use a tool such as a Splunk to enable you detect the uh, anomaly um, activities. We also have what we call forensics. Okay, so this one identifies and preserve digital evidence. Okay, so this one helps to identify and preserve digital evidence. Okay, so um, it's done by examining the RAM from a malicious system. So identifying the values there actually to help identify how an attack occurred. Okay, so you just want to analyze how a particular attack occurred. So this is what we call um, uh, digital, so we call it forensics. Okay, we can use LiPAS, Blue Coat, as well as FireEye to analyze in that context. We also have machine learning. We could use algorithms that can learn from and make predictions on the data. We could use algorithms that can learn from and are able to make prediction. Okay, these you'll be able to classify the malware